rise up this morning, I smile at the rising sun, the sweet little bird beside my doorstep, they're singing sweet songs, a melody pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. I said I don't worry, no, about a thing, no, 'cause every little thing is alright. I said I don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is alright. I said I don't worry about a thing, oh, 'cause every little thing is alright. I said I don't worry about a thing, no, 'cause every little thing is alright.
Well, good morning, everybody. CSL Prescott and anybody else watching online. I'm very happy to see everybody here today. So, my name is Grace McManus. I'm one of the licensed practitioners here at the Center for Spiritual Living, and I'm very grateful to see everybody here. So, as you have heard many times, practitioners and this particular center provide spiritual tools for us to make this a world that works for everyone. And wherever you are and wherever you have been, you are entirely welcome. No matter what your self-judgments are about yourself, and we are glad to see your faces. You don't have to do this alone in this life. You don't have to do this alone in your life. Can you hear me? Okay. Because we have a series of licensed practitioners available whose primary function is to teach classes about the science of mind and to pray. We do one-on-one sessions, but we also offer something called a 3-minute miracle, which we will do after the service, so you may approach one of the practitioners if you feel a need to pray about something. So today is a little bit different because we not only pray and teach, but we also like to honor people. And today I wish to honor Mrs. Sue Scherer. And if you would come on up, Sue. And if there are any practitioners in the room, if you would like to come on up and be on stage, that would be great too. Okay. And now, so I've known Sue about 3.5 years, but I know that she's been in the science of mind philosophy for more than, I don't know how many years. She's a 20-year practitioner, and we're going to miss Sue because she is moving to Texas to be close to her family. And also Robert, too, her son Robert will be going with her. And in order to honor her, she served, as I said, 20 years as a practitioner, and that's quite an accomplishment. And so Ms. Hazel is going to be giving you a little something.
Oh, Sue, we are so grateful for the 20 years that you have served as a religious science practitioner. I want to know that before you've even gone, you're already missed. But your legacy, and if anyone remembers her legacy, it's only good can come from this. And that will always remain with us. So we love you. It is my greatest honor as chair of the Practitioner Corps to present to you your 20-year pin, as well as a special something from all the practitioners here at the center. So thank you.
And I should mention, we've already honored her husband, and we have done that posthumously, and I'm so glad that we were able to also honor Dave Scherer, who's gave many, many hours of wonderful service to the center. So, as you know, this is a place where we also honor the other traditions, the other religious traditions in the world, and we do this through a candlelighting service. So I'd like to invite the candlelighters to come up, and for the POD, Richard, and we are going to honor the many paths that we know lead to oneness. So the Center for Spiritual Living honors all faith traditions, and as we light a candle for the world's religions, it is to acknowledge both our multiplicity and our unity.
We light a candle for Christianity based on the teachings of Jesus the Christ, who taught the path of love, forgiveness, and healing by the presence within.
We light a candle for Islam, the practice of submitting to the will of God, and as revealed by his prophets, peace be upon them, who taught that there is one God, creator of the heavens and the earth.
For Judaism, a community of shared laws, traditions, and family ties, which began with the covenant between Abraham and God.
For Judaism, a community of shared laws, traditions, and family ties, which began with the covenant between Abraham and God.
And for Buddhism, the middle path that ends suffering and awakens mindfulness and compassion.
For Hinduism, the path of knowledge, action, and devotion.
The Native American traditions, and those who walk the good red road, including the people of the sun, better known as the Yavapai.
For the Baha'i, the path of unity and peace.
For the goddess traditions, embracing the divine feminine as maiden, mother, and crone.
And for the science of mind, which is the philosophy of life that teaches there is a power for good in the universe and we can use it. Thank you. Thank you, Sonia, for the lighting of the candles.
Sing this with me. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. Letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only
What a beautiful song. Put my cheaters on here so I can read. For the meditation this morning, I've taken something out of this month's Science of Mind magazine. And it's a quote by Anna Quindlen. The thing that is really hard and really amazing is giving up on being perfect and beginning the work of becoming yourself. She was writing that for me, I think. So let's close our eyes and get comfortable in the chairs and go within. I invite you now to come back into this place and space. And remember, you don't have to be perfect.
Yes, you
Namaste.
don't have to be perfect, and I left out part of the service, but I will say it anyway. This is our affirmation, and you can repeat it after me. We are here for God. Our purpose is to express the nature of God as love, abundance, and joy in everything we do. The good we seek for ourselves is what we desire for all people everywhere. And so it is. I'll now turn it over to Jackson.
As this year comes to the close, I see people will do these years in review. And I'm going to say one of the best things I did this year was finally get the bright idea to invite our guest soloist to start playing here. I don't know what took me so long. Hey, but we're not perfect. We're just getting better.
Not perfect.
And so this is Sky Connell, everybody.
I'm going to play a medley of two familiar songs. One of them is going to be instrumental, but if you know the words and if you'd like to sing along, feel free. praise the Lord. But you don't care for music much, now do you? It goes like this, the fourth and the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Thank you, Sky. That was delightful. And now it's my pleasure to invite Dr. John Haas to come up. He's going to be our guest speaker. John is one of our local, our practitioners right here at CSL Prescott. And I was told not to talk a lot about him, but he's been a licensed practitioner since 2010 when he was living in Auburn, California. Some of you know that he teaches cybersecurity over at Embry-Riddle. And I will say that I don't know him all that well, but he's an interesting guy. And I know he's a new grandfather, so he's real pleased about that. So let's welcome John to our stage.
Well, thank you, Grace, for that. And thanks, everyone. As you probably all saw last night, if you were out walking around like me, just as the sun was setting over here in the east, we saw this enormous full moon. The official time, 9:35, but by the time I saw it over there, it was just coming up and had that illusion of being so enormous. And it's a great segue because I'm going to be talking today about the light and the dark. And of course, I asked Jackson to play that song that we've been doing, but I didn't know we were going to get Hallelujah. So that's also a perfect way of reminding us. This month's theme is about the journey of becoming. And on our Science of Mind magazine, that's the little title at the bottom, and we honored one of our spiritual heroes. Many of you probably know him, Tiknahan, the Buddhist monk who began his life in Vietnam. And he experienced a lot of dark as a youth, as there were warring factions on many sides. The United States got involved, the French were there. It was a big mess. And he had this idea that despite all of the struggles that were going on, there had to be something out there, something that showed peace. And he was an activist for peace. And of course, all sides didn't like it. They were happy, I guess, doing what Richard was talking about, warring on either side. I don't know what it's about, but he saw that and he said, this is not right. So they kicked him out. And he came to the United States. They didn't like him so much in the United States, so he went to France. And there he lived and for a long time and created a village that's all about love. And so today's talk is about becoming love. And it's, in fact, we had a good example of it today earlier, is meditation. And what is meditation good for? Well, Tiknahan showed us that we can meditate while we're walking. We can even meditate while we're talking, if we talk slowly enough. Don't get ahead of ourselves. We can meditate sitting in quiet. We can meditate most anywhere that we take the time to get out of our own way. Because meditation is a reminder that we're not alone. We're never alone. And that if we close our eyes or gently gaze or just notice the world around us, we might find ourselves in meditation. And there's a little niggly part of everyone's mind, the brain, the thoughts, the thinking, the going somewhere next week, last month, this time, that time. But if we stop just for a minute, we can be present. And in that present moment, we're becoming love. We're becoming love because we're connecting with the only thing that there is. There's only love. There is only love. So when we stop, what else can we connect with? And then we're becoming love. Now, Jackson has this song that we do, and he changed the words to us because it said, everything's gonna be all right, which sounds like anytime soon, it's gonna be all right. And he says, no, 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 no. In the science of mind thinking, we realize that we affirm the now. And we say, it is all right. And at our practitioner retreat, we also learned about a new way to think about worry. Because unfortunately, our minds do it because we were taught to worry. Hey, watch out for the street. Oh, don't go there. That's hot. Oh, don't do this. So we were taught to worry about every little thing. But guess what? Worry is our friend. If we take that little niggling worry and we say, that's telling me something, it's telling me to come back to the present moment and remember, as Sue will tell us, only good can come from this, right? So as we look out, we realize that we've got some great tools that we learn here, and meditation is one of them, and we'll come back to that. So I know I was going to say something else, because here we always are looking for this journey and thinking about, where do I want to go? Do you really have to go anywhere to find yourself? No, probably not. But like many of you, I was in a dark spot. Never had, ups and downs. If you've ever done the game of looking at the ups and downs of your life, you realize that it has waves. It has different shapes. And I was in a particular place after just wrapping up with my 5th startup, the dot-com bust of 2000. Things were looking weird and bleak. The Y2K came and thankfully went. And at that time, I was in the process of moving out of the San Francisco Bay Area to move up to Auburn in the foothills, the gold country of California. I like to say it was below the snow and above the fog. Perfect, perfect. But as I was leaving, I said, you know what? I didn't know what I know now. I said, I need to find out more about who I am and find out how I can become more loving. Because I had come into this dark spot where I thought, I'm not a very good person. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. I should do this. I should do that. So in San Francisco, there's plenty of teachers and plenty of students, and I was one of those students. So I sought out everything I could think of. Byron Katie, if any of you have heard of her, and the work. She had these great questions. She says, how can you know that's true? And another great question is, well, what would you be if you didn't have that thought about the truth or non-truth of that idea that's in your mind? Great work, great work. I enjoyed her workshop, but it wasn't enough. So I spent a day with Don Miguel Ruiz and the 4 agreements, learned about those, and then I looked at all the ways that I wasn't true and all the ways that I was making assumptions. I was not agreeing with any of those 4 agreements. They were like, wow, this is like a graduate school in learning life. But that wasn't enough, right? So I did all sorts of different things, and I had the great opportunity, along with 500 of my closest friends, of being with David White. For those of you who know David White, he did workshops, and he, in his lovely accent, gave poetry and used poetry as a way to that hidden part of ourselves that, much like meditation, can point to the part of us that maybe we've forgotten. And poetry gives words to it that sometimes we can't do with regular English, because we think of English as so linear and a little bit choppy and weird words. But he made it sound lovely. But he opened up not with one of his own poems, but with one by another one of my favorites, Mary Oliver. And so since we're talking about the journey of becoming, I wanted to share the poem, The Journey. And then we'll look at the 3 parts of the journey and how it's part of all of our lives. So if you don't want to look at me, just think of David White with his great accent. One day, you finally knew what you had to do and began. Though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble, and you felt the old tug at your ankles, mend my life, each voice cried. But you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough, and a wild night, and the road full of branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice, which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. The Journey by Mary Oliver. It's our journey. It's our journey each time we think about it, because there's darkness. The house was trembling. There were the people and the world around you. They don't want you to change. They want you to stay right where you are. They claw at your very ankles to keep you in place. But there's part of you that pushes you forward, because your soul says, no, there's more. And that soul is the one that you want to love and be with till death certainly does do you part with this physical part, but not your soul. Not your soul. So I love that story because it's a story about becoming love. And it was just a metaphor for me, I realized. And at the time, there was another poet, Araya, a mountain dreamer, with her invitation to life. Her invitation to be exactly who you are. We talked about perfection. Well, perfection, as long as you think about it as perfect, whole, and complete, we're all perfect. But we have in our brains, because we were taught so many different ways, oh, perfect looks like this, A+, 100. That's perfect. But no, that's not perfect. That's just one person's or one thought's idea about how to measure. Do you measure up? Well, yeah, I measure up to the top of me. Perfect. Now, I'm not nearly as tall here, but right where I am, perfect, whole, and complete. And that was the lesson that all of these teachers were trying to give to me in their different way, in their different language. And remember, wherever you are, you're always a student, and there's going to be a teacher if you can listen, if you can hear it, if you're willing to start on the journey, because the journey is not the destination. The journey, though, requires moving those feet, doing activities that move you in the direction that you want to go. And who knows what that direction is, because each one of us gets to have our own path, our own journey of becoming. Well, this time of year, it's getting close to the darkness that we call in the northern hemisphere the solstice, where it is the shortest day and the longest night. And it's no surprise that in almost every religious category, there's a celebration of light at this time of year, because it's so dark. People are getting so tired of it being so dark that they say there's got to be life. We've got to make it to spring, and so we have these celebrations. And for about a third of the people on this planet, Christianity is the way. And for that, there is this great story that's happened about this time of year. So go with me in this darkness and think about it. You're 16 years old, 15, 17, young woman, it's cold, you're heavy with child, and your husband goes inside, tries to find a room. You can't wait in the car with the heater on. They didn't get your text to have the internet reservation all ready for you. He comes out with a blanket and says, well, but at least we've got a place to be out of the cold. There was no Lamaze breathing buddy. There was no nearby birth center. That's pretty scary. Especially when you think in a way, wait, this was done to me. And here I am in the middle of the show, and I'm supposedly bringing in the light that's going to illumine the world for the next 2,000 years or more? Whoa. That's really something. And you mentioned that, yes, I am a grandfather now. So my oldest son, Evan, and his wife were expecting. Of course, my schedule said the only time I could go out there to be with them was when they were supposed to have the baby, right before the semester started. But the baby said, no, I'm not coming out. 38 weeks is not enough for me. So we stayed, and then it didn't come until 2 weeks later. And in the great state of California, if you're back beyond the 2-week time limit, then you can no longer do home birth. So I wasn't there, but now Cedar Grace is the light, because of course with grandbabies are the best, right? Because you can give them back. Yeah, here it's stinky. But it's a lot of fun. And so that's becoming love in the eyes of a little newborn. And even with the miracles of modern science, it's not always easy to bring life into the world. And especially at this time, some people have thought, gee, can I bring a new life into this world the way it is with all this funny stuff going on? Well, yes, we can. Because it's a becoming love. And all around, there's the opportunity. So when I was, how am I doing for time? I got about 5 more minutes. I think I'm good. When I was first searching, a friend of mine said, hey, there's this great place in the East Bay, that was in Oakland, that has a great message. They've got excellent music. You should go. So I went to the East Bay Church of Religious Science, is what it was called at the time, with the Right Reverend Eloise Oliver. And boy, did they have a band. They had a jazz band. They had a men's choir. They had a women's choir. They had a co-ed choir. And they had 3 huge services every week, a buzzing community. I said, wow, what are they drinking? I want some of that. And every week, the congregation would stand, and they would recite together the What We Believe by Ernest Holmes. So I'm going to share just one of those, and depending on the time, we'll hear more. But one of them is, we believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. There it is. Goodness, loving kindness, and givingness. And it's not just for some, not just for those that get A's, not just those that are perfect, not those that are just in the know. In fact, you don't even have to know about science of mind. It's to all that gift is given. So we don't earn our soul's grace. There's nothing we can do to unearn it. However, what we can do is we can open ourselves up to the connection with it and remember more often. And we can use tools. One of those tools, as I've talked about, meditation. Another one, prayer. But prayer can come in all different forms, just like meditation comes in different forms. So I wanted to share with you one, as part of this journey, from David White, and the way that he spoke, because he was realizing that a lot of us think that somehow we're alone in this. It's not true. Your great mistake is to act the drama as if you were alone, as if life were a progressive and cunning crime with no witness to the tiny hidden transgressions. To feel abandoned is to deny the intimacy of your surroundings. Surely, even you at times have felt the grand array, the swelling presence, and the chorus crowding out your solo voice. You must note the way the soap dish enables you on the window ledge. How the window latch grants you freedom. Alertness is the hidden discipline of familiarity. The stairs are your mentor to things to come. The doors have always been there to frighten you and invite you. And the tiny speaker in your phone is your dream ladder to divinity. Put down the weight of your aloneness and ease into the conversation. The kettle is singing even as it pours you a drink. The cooking pots have left their arrogant aloofness and seen the good in you at last. All the birds and creatures of the world are unutterably themselves. And everything is waiting for you. This is the journey of becoming love. This is the way that we find ourselves through poetry, through music, through meditation. And so let's take that thought and bring that into a prayer. 5 steps, we call it here. Just put it on your hand, the way we teach it. Because God is. I am. I know. Thank you. Goodbye. Let's walk that through. There's only one thing going on. There's one perfect presence, one power, one love, one light, one God, one infinite knowing. That's all there is. Call it by any name, the universe, the multiverse, Buddha, Buddha nature. And since it's all that is, it's you and it's me right here, right now. It's everywhere present. It's in this room. It's in the heart that beats you. It's in the breath that breathes you. There is no place where God is not. How good to know. How good to know that this is the truth. And this is the truth that we can feel. We can feel it when we close our eyes. We can feel it and see it when we open our eyes. Because there is no thing that is not possible in our lives. We can choose whatever we want to be, do, or have. It's all up to us to journey, to create, to become love. I am so grateful for this knowing. I'm so grateful for the teaching. And I'm so grateful for this time together to know it, to anchor it, to feel it. And so I just send these words of power into the law, the action of love that surrounds and says yes, yes to everything that we know and do. And so together we anchor that by saying, and so it is.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, John, for that wonderful message. So now it is our time for giving and supporting this center. So if you have a love offering, you may drop it in the box that is outside in the sanctuary. It's a glittery box. Or if you give online, that is another way you can donate. And that website is cslprescott.org/give. And you can also donate if you want to by texting a number. It's 844-917-1240. So I ask you to please place that love offering over your heart as we say the following affirmation. Divine love in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you. So now we'd like to invite our guest singer back up, Sky.
Together we stand, divided we fall. Come on now, people, let's get on the ball. Let's work together. Come on, let's work together. Now, people, because together we will stand. Every boy, every girl, and man. For when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, the road that you travel stays out uphill. Let's work together. Come on, let's work together. And people, together we will stand. Every boy, girl, child, and a man. Let's work together. Come on, let's work together. People, because together we will stand. Every boy, every woman, every man. Well, now make somebody happy, make somebody smile. Let's all work together, make life worthwhile. Let's work together. Come on, let's work together. Yeah, people, because together we will stand. Every boy, girl, woman, and man. Here now, together we will stand. Every boy, every woman, and a man.
John, thank you, Sky. Thank you so much. So anyway, this is our time to ask if there's anybody new in the audience or someone who has been away for a long time would like to stand so we may welcome you. We don't force you to do that, but if you feel comfortable, you may stand, and we have a little gift for you. Nobody? Not yet? Okay. So, and now there are children. I think there is a child here today. If we'd like to invite our child up to the stage somewhere. Okay. Nope. Not coming today, huh? Oh, they're coming. Okay. So,
Well, I guess I'm going to have to admit that I wasn't totally paying attention during the announcements. Did the Solstice Christmas service get announced?
no, I don't know, but yes,
Oh, it did?
yes, December 22nd is the 21st.
Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday, okay. All right, yeah, come. They're going to play Christmas music.
True story.
Okay, would you like to come up, the kids, or the kid? Oh my goodness, he's all decorated.
at the beginning, we made this long paper chain because why not? Also, we did these things where we put cloves and oranges because of the winter solstice, and that's how how they celebrated sometimes. I guess, yeah. Also, I learned a bunch of things about the other cultures and how they celebrated the winter solstice. And that I figured out that the winter solstice is on Tuesday, so that's fun.
Yeah. Thank you, Seamus. So, okay. So we're going to repeat the benediction. So if you would just relax in your chairs right now as we, well, I guess you can stand up. Go ahead and stand up. Hold your hands if you want to, or just place your hands on your heart as we repeat the benediction. Are you ready? Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is happening through my mind, my body, and my affairs. I think it, I believe it, I feel it, I know it, I accept it. Thank you, life.